for us?
I will have questions for you to answer for the group, if that's all right, when you're
yes, definitely.
when you're taking the Q&A.
Yeah. So one thing. Sorry, name again. Name. Brandon.
Yeah.
All right. So Brandon's talking to me over today, and Brandon's like, "Oh, why don't you just use the regular, high crotch defense?" Guys, I've got nothing wrong with any defense. For me, it's the numbers and the stats game. All right. I love logic. All right, and I think I'm a logical person. But so I asked him, and I don't know what it is. I don't know your percentages. I just know percentage for me, and I keep track of that, like when I'm wrestling, when I'm playing around, and I go with the highest percentage thing, but also with the most reward. So it sounds like, all right, so you're cross-facing and grabbing the waist and then fighting there. At what percentage of that position do you score? What percentage of that position does he score? What percentage of that position do you stalemate? Right? If you score, how many points do you get? If he scores, how many points does he get? All right? If I sit corner, how often do I win? All right? So I go through the same thing. How much do I score? How much does he score? What will I score? Right? Because for me in that position, if I can get 2 points, or if I can get 5 points, or if I can get a pin, to me that's a very, very different situation. It's a different equation, right? So if I sit there and 50% of the time I'm there, I get a pin. If that guy takes 2 shots of high crotches on me, how often will I pin him? Huh? No, 75% of the time, I guess technically. All right? Because 50% first one, 50% second one, 75% because it's 2. All right? So 75% of the time, that match will end in a pin. All right? I think that's good odds. All right? And even like if it doesn't end in a pin, more likely I'll probably end up in a takedown. So if my percentage of takedowns when they shoot high crotch is like 80%, all right, and then when I don't give up a takedown, 10% stalemates and 10% he takes me down, I'm in a pretty good situation, all right? Do you guys understand? Am I talking over your head? Because you guys are just staring at me.
Coach, can you give us some examples of positions where you break it down by percentage? Like,
that one.
So who's the advantage?
To be honest, if you shoot a high crotch on me, I'm an advantage. There's very, very few people that shoot a high crotch on me that ever have the advantage. And so you guys can watch my NCAA finals. The guy loves high crotch. He's very good at it, but he took a high crotch and they set the corner, and it's like I took him down and I worked him on top. But when he shot a high crotch, I don't know what was going through his damn head, because in my head, he takes a high crotch. It's like a 70%, 30% probably at least.
You don't think it's finishable, for the most part?
I think it might be very, very few times. All right, so I would say probably 70% of the time I'll score. All right, and I may score big on that one. All right. And then I'd say probably 20% of the time, if I don't score, I'll end up in stalemate. And that might even be generous, all right? And then 10% of the time, maybe it's score. But I think that's being generous on their side, all right? But so in that situation, I would say it's a very, very heavily favored for me, all right? And so then also note, and so I'm not saying, and so a lot of coaches say, where's Dan at? Dan, you here?
Gibby.
Oh, there you are. Good, here. So he doesn't sprawl at all. We can say that's fair? All right, so he doesn't sprawl at all, all right? I sprawl, all right? But I calculate, guys. I calculate, I'm like, all right, so if it's a really, really terrible shot, all right, it's probably easier for me not to let him have the leg and just go behind, right? That's the safest thing. If he's deep on a high crotch and I know I'm really messed up and he's going to get in really deep, at that point I'll probably sit the corner. All right? Do you guys understand what I'm saying? So if the guy takes a good shot versus a bad shot, all right, and at the same time too, all right, if you guys have good baseline defense, so if I have a good stance, I'm keeping my hands in my head in the way, and this guy has to take a poor shot, all right? So if you have like perfection, which you guys drill, right, for a high crotch, all right, if he's shooting at 70%, it's easier for me to counter, right? As opposed to letting him get his best shot. Do you guys understand that? All right, so if you guys can sprawl and you guys can hand fight and use your head to block and everything like that, this guy will not have as good a shot. All right, and then your counters become easy, whether you're sprawling stuff in his head and going behind, or whether you guys are sitting in the corner and going behind. All right? Cool? No thoughts? Questions?
I got a lot. I'll keep going.
Yeah, some questions, guys.
Let these guys go first, and then I'll...
You guys go first, and then we'll go with Jason. Questions for me? Questions, thoughts? It can be about anything. It can be about wrestling. It can be about...
I got so many. You guys don't have any questions?
Anything other than Fortnite, I will answer. Yes, sir.
What weight you wrestle in high school?
I wrestled 40 my freshman year, 71 my sophomore year, and then 89 and 89. And I probably weighed... I was cutting a lot to get to 40, and I was probably weighing 165, and I was probably 182, 184. So.
How old were you when you started wrestling, and what made you want to start wrestling?
I was 3. I had no clue. My dad put me in there, but I had a lot of fun throwing people down. So, but I didn't like wrestling my brother. Yeah.
What's your mental preparation for a match?
To be honest, I'm a little bit lengthier of a preparation type guy. And so, I mean, I'd probably say 30, 40 minutes before my bout, I'd be off. Right? Maybe 20, 30. But I'd be off. I'd be out, like, out on my own or not. I don't want to watch matches. I go off on my own. And I kind of go through my warm-up and I get ready to roll. Listening to music, bouncing around, stance in motion, kind of thing. Or especially when you get to older levels and higher levels, you kind of know the people you're wrestling, so you're kind of game planning for the position that they come up. Yeah.
If you shoot a high crotch and you get caught in crackdown, what would you do to get out of it?
If I have the leg, or if you have the leg?
Yeah, you have the leg.
If I have the leg,
Yeah.
I love that position. So that's a loaded question.
You stalemate against yourself from the crackdown?
I think I'd probably finish on myself.
Oh, so you think you get through it?
Yeah, but I do something that I don't think anyone else does. So
Okay.
there are a couple things that I probably know. Yeah.
What was your diet like when you won
sorry.
a national championship? What was your diet?
Healthy, but I love ice
A
cream.
lot of salads?
Huh?
A lot of salads?
I mean everything. I love Mexican food, so I was probably eating Mexican food probably 4 or 5 times a week. But you know, so like eggs in the morning.
You have a hard
and stuff.
time losing the weight?
No, not at all. No, I'm pretty lean right now. I've always been lean. I mean, like right now, I'm probably 192, 193. Like in that range between 190 and 195, and I wrestled 184. So I was about the same then. So I was cutting probably 8, 10 pounds. Like it's like when I was in range. But it's like I take out the salt, so I wasn't eating sodium probably 2, 3 days out, and I drank water, not like soda and milk and orange juices. Yeah.
So when you were still in school, how often did you just practice wrestling, and like how many hours a day would you just practice wrestling?
Oh, not that many hours a day. I mean, it's 6, 7 days a week you're wrestling. But I mean, it's like it was maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours a day. But at the same time too, you have to be respectful of your body. So like there's times where you're wrestling harder and you got to rest in ice bath and do all those things to kind of be ready. And there's other times where you're wrestling an hour and you're kind of prepping and you're ready to go. So it kind of depends what time of season, what time of year. But last year you're probably doing an hour and a half set.
But no matter what, you just made every practice worth it.
Yeah. I mean, there's no reason. Yeah, if you're not gonna make it worth it, why show up? You know, if you're gonna be there, might as well be there. Yeah, nice song. I do wrestling because I love wrestling. For me, wrestling is a bit of an art form. All right, so it's not. I mean, it's like winning, losing, whatever. Winning's cool. Losing sucks. I hate losing. I like winning. But really, I thought it was really fun to be able to make up stuff that nobody else has made up, or push things in places or areas where nobody has. All right, so for me, it's kind of fun. You guys have like got into like samurai culture or like Asian culture. It's very much a battle against oneself as opposed to others. Yeah.
What's your motivation?
Right now, I'm not trying to beat anyone up anymore, dude. My motivation's changed. My motivation is trying to get other guys that want to beat other kids up. When I say that, I mean like I'm being joking, of course. I don't want to beat other guys up, but I want them to be capable of doing things like that, right? I want them to want to wrestle and be there as much as they can. So I mean, I want it to be fun, but it's also got to be challenging to be fun at some point. If I got to come in, I got to wrestle Gavin. It's not that fun because I just crush him all the time, right? Joking, of course. Well, kind of joking. But so you guys need different ranges, right? So it's like at some point when Gavin gets a little bit older, and when he gets into college, I'm sure he'll be a very formidable opponent. And so then they start to push you in places and challenge you, right? So have you ever wrestled anyone that like don't look around, don't sit? You ever wrestled anyone that you just pin over and over and over, and it's like they're hardly even trying? How fun is that? All right, or maybe it's fun, but then like the second time you pin him, you're like third, fourth, like all right, and then he goes off and goes to the bathroom and stuff like that, and it's not fun for you, do you? All right, so you have to have somebody that challenges you for it to be fun. Okay, does that make sense? Cool. Anything else? Yeah, boom.
Can you finish a single leg on yourself?
Can I finish a single leg on myself? I think single leg's part of the high crash and finish on myself.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think my single leg defense is very, very good. And I'd say single legs are harder to finish for me than high crosses.
Okay.
I just feel like I feel like I'm one step ahead when it comes to high crotch, offense, defense, like the back down. Single legs, maybe not so much. I think on the defensive side, I'm really, really good. Offensive side, maybe not so much.
Okay.
Depends how deep I get.
All right. So,
Low single or mid single?
like mid single or even single on the feet.
Single on my feet, I think I'm finishing for sure. Mid-level single, that'd be a difficult one. If I get the angle, I think I'd finish on myself. If I'm in front of myself, I don't think I finish.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What does it take to go to the college you went to?
I think it's a different question for everyone, you know? And even that, it's like, what does it take to go to college? You go to the college and get on the team, guys, it doesn't take too much. All right? And just saying that is, of course, you have to be a capable wrestler, right? Be around that level. But it's like everybody think, we're talking about Gavin. There's guys on my team that didn't even it's like, all right, we had one guy that, as senior, he took second in states, and we had another guy placed at states his senior year, but didn't really do very well other than that. All right, one of them ended up, you probably know Mike Chandler, right? Bellator champ?
Oh,
Yeah,
Michael Chandler.
He was champ of Bellator for a little while, right on. So he's pretty good, you know him? No, all right. Either way, but so he ended up being a two-time round of 12, and then one time he took fifth in the NCAAs. But it was a guy that was a walk-on on the team. He didn't get any money. He just showed up. But he was also a guy that was wrestling 6-7 days a week, worked his ass off in the. Sorry, can I say ass?
Yeah.
Worked his ass off in the weight room. All right, was running all the time and did everything he could. All right, and there's also guys that had way more talent, had way more accolades in high school, came in and were schmucks. Partied, didn't go to class, and then dropped out probably within a year or two. So it depends who you are, but I mean, really the biggest thing, if you guys want to be successful college athletes, do your homework, all right, get good grades, all right, and then come with a good attitude and come ready to work. All right, if you guys do that, and it's like no coach is going to be like, no, you're working too hard, get away. Your grades are too good, leave me alone. All right, you guys would be amazed at how many people show up in a college wrestling room with very, very low grades and think they don't have to go to class. All right, like they show up and like they don't even think they have to go to class, and then they come with a 1.2 and they're trying to get help from the coach, and he says, where were you the rest of the semester when you were getting a 1.2? All right, so you get good grades. All right, guys. I know in high school I coached in these areas, and I coach a lot of high schoolers now. For some reason, there's this one. I don't know what it is, but it's cool to be dumb. I don't know. Do any of you guys have that problem? Like all like the cool kids are
Surrounded by it.
talking about how sweet it is, like they failed their tests and they're giving each other high fives. There was nothing that made me more mad. Just because to me it's a waste of energy. All right, it's a waste of talent. There was no reason they needed to get bad grades. It's just because they were being lazy. All right, for some reason in their head it was like the cool thing to do. I want to work really hard in wrestling, but I don't want to get shit. Sorry, got grades. Yeah.
What was your go-to shot or move on your feet?
Same thing, all right? I'm a logical person. If you're easy to high crotch, I will high crotch you. If you're easy to go to 2-on-1 or snap down, I'm going to take the easiest
So it
path.
was more against like what kind of like who you were wrestling, you kind of based it off of?
Yeah, I mean, it's like even when you're wrestling with people, you start prodding and figure out where they might be weak. And so I guess I would say akin to water, you know, it's like the path of least resistance,
Okay.
if that makes sense. Yeah, and then yeah.
So, do you consider yourself on the mat with a guy you know could be almost as good as you or just as good as you? Are you more of a passive wrestler or aggressive wrestler in that moment?
What does that mean?
Like, do you act more defensive or do you try to go on the attack right away and shoot?
I don't mind getting taken down. I mean, really, it's like, again, so it's like if I hang out and I don't do anything, how much do I learn? How much do you learn if you don't do anything? You just sit there like this and don't do anything. You have really good practices, you learn tons? Really? Be honest.
Wait, what did you just say?
I'm wrestling you and you just sit there and don't do anything and go like this the whole time.
Okay.
Being defensive, right? How much do you learn?
No.
All right. When I take 7 shots and you score on me every single time, do you think I'm getting better?
Yeah.
All right. So it depends how you think of it. But me, I like to score points, and I know that if I do it enough, I'll eventually figure it out. Whereas I know if I don't do anything, then I can't. There's nothing to figure out. So for me, I guess I'm aggressive.
Okay.
Yeah.
During the season, did you struggle a lot with your classes?
No. I had 3.9 graduating college. 3.9, 3.92, something like that. So no, I did great with grades. I mean, I think being good at time management when you guys are kids is an important thing. I had 2 jobs. My dad told me I had 2 jobs, right? So I didn't have to work when I was in high school, but I wrestled 7 days a week from the time I was in 8th grade until the time I graduated from high school. I lifted 3 to 4 times, well, actually like 3 to 5 times a week in high school. I lifted a lot in high school. But so I lifted between 3 and 5 times. I probably ran 2-3 times a week. All right, so I had that to do, and then I had academics. All right, so if you know, it's like those are the things I really had to focus on, and I took it very seriously. So I had great grades, and then even upon that, it's like you're doing volunteer stuff and you're helping other athletes, like coaching and stuff like that.
And
So no, I did not have problems in the classroom.
And how did you manage your time with all the stuff you had to do?
So in my head, and this is where like I don't even know how people like go to go to college, and they don't have a job and they don't have they're not athletes and they still like don't get good grades.